Hey, we're back again.
Kia Sonet.
Kia Sonet. Will and L.
Alan Will.
Yeah? Talking Kia Sonet. Turbo.
1.0 turbo.
1 litre, little 1 litre, 3-cylinder. Here we go yet
88
again.
kilowatts, 170 newton meters, something along those
172.
lines.
You know, it's fascinating though.
I don't worry about
really
two.
interesting
Round up to the nearest 10.
is when they brought the Sonet, what, about 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Naturally aspirated 1.5 only.
Yeah.
85 kilowatts.
Yeah.
140 Newton meters.
And remember, they launched it down on the coast in Cape Town.
I wasn't on the launch, so.
I was. Yeah.
Okay, no. Kia, please. I haven't ever been on one of your launches. What's going on? Such a quick commercial there.
I like Kia.
Yeah.
Fabulous brand.
No, they're
Classy,
good cars.
sophisticated.
They're nice. They look
They
good.
invite the right journalists to the launches.
No, look, the Sonet. So you're on the launch. Have you tested the naturally aspirated before?
I have not.
Okay, all right. Now there was another thing. Big difference between the two models is not only the naturally aspirated versus turbo, the minute increase in kilowatts, which is a bit of a surprise in a way, but lots more Newton meters, is the auto version on the naturally aspirated is a CVT. This is a 7-speed dual clutch. Okay,
So
big difference.
Down on launch,
Yeah.
they let us drive the 1 litre turbo. We actually had one in the country at that time.
Okay. Because I know it was
There were issues in terms of getting supply.
it was a teaser for, and they kept saying it's coming, and it took a lot longer
And
than it should have
but
to
it's
get
here.
here. But it got here.
And it's the right one to have.
I did test the 1.5.
Okay.
Fine, but kind of ho-hum, dull, boring. Looks nice, but performance-wise, it really
It was okay.
was.
I mean,
Yeah, it was. No, nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Just this adds.
This has that zip. This has that little bit of extra
know,
boom.
Even and on the car, you drove it for a day or two. I guarantee you played with the sport mode, and I'm pretty sure you played with the manual mode on the gearbox.
I might have.
Yeah,
So
I know
DC,
you.
look,
Yeah.
dual clutch transmission these days. So DCT was invented by the Germans.
Yeah,
The Germans are still better at it. It is faster on a German car than it is on a Korean car.
yes,
But we are talking
Hang
about
on.
a 1 litre turbo.
we're talking 1 litre turbo. We're not talking a 3-litre twin turbo or something like that,
no,
where
we're
you
not.
actually worry about the shift time.
Agreed.
You don't on this.
Agreed.
Right, thanks. I'm glad you agree with me.
We
for a change on that kind
just
of thing,
we
yeah.
consider it as a very good automatic.
But
and
the turbo gives it that extra bit of
I
zip.
didn't really use manual mode
Okay,
that much
I'm
on the car. I
interested,
must
yeah.
be honest,
Yeah.
because you got 7 speeds, and around town, which is what this car is.
Yeah.
You're always in the right gear.
No, look, you always are. What I found very interesting was now I took it off on part of my holiday trip, and we didn't travel that far, but out Harty's side.
How did you put it on
What
the car? If you took it off, I mean, how do you put it on?
are you trying
It's not
to?
a shoe.
Hey. Listen,
Bigger than a shoe.
Listen, the life and times of motoring journo. I go away on a holiday trip, and I have to come back halfway through the week to swap test cars.
Well, you know.
You know, that's the life and times of what we do. So, in that context, what I found interesting was now through the twisties, over a little pass, etc., it probably is more economical around town and pure freeway than it is in that kind of
If
driving.
you're zipping it around, it chews fuel.
Yeah, it
but we've seen
chews.
that in every 1 litre turbo we've
So,
ever driven, to be honest.
As you showed, and I'm ashamed to admit this, but he got better economy than me for once.
Boom!
Can you believe this?
That's not for once. That's actually the third, fourth, fifth time.
Out of how many? But
yeah, who's counting?
Now, you can, if you really feather it around on freeway driving, and that get it down to like 6 liters per 100, or just
Yeah,
under.
6.2,
Yeah.
6.3.
Okay, but I can tell you now, having now done the other side of things, you're going to run at around the 7, just over 7 mark as an overall average.
I was sitting at 6.4, and that was I was comfortable with that as a combined
Yeah,
cycle.
but
So
I'm
I did
saying-
some freeway, most around town, but around town it's actually pretty good.
I'm saying
I have
that's
to
my
say,
point.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you take it on a long trip, it actually almost seems to be the negative on this car. That
Well,
was what I
yeah.
felt. And look, there's nothing wrong with 7 liters per 100 either. We've been spoiled by certain cars late sometimes. I think that's the point. But 7 is good. Now, let's just,
And bear in mind, you're still getting that zippy performance out of it.
I was gonna say.
which is the
what I did find, I have to
I'm
admit,
quite happy to pay for.
is on pull-off, there was the moment's hesitation before the turbo kicks in.
Okay.
I don't know if you found it,
No.
but a bit of that. But I'm being picky here. It's not serious. Most people would never even
Notice.
feel it or notice it.
The
So
balance of the car. So I
Yeah.
liked the automatic climate control. I liked the
Yes.
the switching on it. I
Yes.
found fantastic. I thought that really is
Look,
world class.
the dash-
the rockers on it,
yeah.
and the whole overall
and I
dash
like
appealed to
the
me.
unusual shape of the ventilation and the way it framed the climate control. Those two big vents there. I just thought that was quite neat. Exterior, let's start exterior. You've got the Tiger Shark nose,
Yeah,
whatever they
yeah,
call it.
yeah.
It's Kia family. Now, every manufacturer nowadays has this family face, as
Correct.
they call it.
Correct.
And it works. The car overall, very neat looking.
Yeah,
Very, very neat looking.
it's nicely put together.
Well put together.
This comes out of India. Where is it assembled?
That's a good question, you know.
Indonesia, maybe.
I
We'll
don't
find
think
out,
it's
but-
India. Yeah, I don't think it's India. But the point I'm making is it looks good.
Yeah.
And in remembering that crossover SUV, 39 to 40% of South African
Yeah,
sales are
yeah.
crossover SUV.
Yeah.
It's 39 to 40.
in,
okay.
in the passenger market.
All right.
Yeah,
In passenger cars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you are talking the most important segment in South Africa currently. Now there are so many contenders.
and it's becoming competitive.
Okay.
Really
more
competitive.
competitive by the day.
So this one, just whilst we're talking about competitive, sorry to jump in, it's priced at $390.
The EX Plus, which is the top of the range,
Yes.
$390.
Yeah, no,
You
that's
do
good.
get an EX,
That's good.
same engine gearbox combination
Yeah.
for $360.
Okay.
Now, I've got to touch on something, and you'll see in my video on the car, I mentioned it a number of times. I found the spec level very confusing on this car. Very confusing. What I'm trying to get at is, you've got the turbo, you've got the DCT box.
Yeah.
Great, top stuff. Then you've got climate control, auto climate control. Excellent.
Adaptive cruise control.
Adaptive cruise control, right. And you've got wireless Android,
Well,
which kept dropping.
yeah.
Okay?
I also had that
so
issue.
I had an issue with that. And trying to nav to a holiday venue when it suddenly drops on you halfway there.
Was it dropping when you're out of town? Because I assumed that we were having issues with
No, it was dropping out of town.
interference.
Look,
Okay.
I was in a bit of a hilly area, so
Okay.
I don't know if that's got anything I can't say what it was, but it's one of the first times I've had it drop as many times as that. That's what I have to say.
That's probably a software thing you can upgrade. and
But it's the
fix.
wireless which really is
Yeah.
top. I mean, you don't expect at 390 grand
To have a wireless.
to have wireless. Okay.
Agreed.
So you've got all these things, but then you've got things like no one touch on the driver's window, either up or down. Now, come on. The most cheapest cars around at 160, 170 grand have got one touch down for the driver. Okay? I may be sounding picky.
Yeah, it's just
But
it's a little
odd.
thing. Yeah,
It's
a bit odd.
incongruous.
It's a bit. Yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah. You're like that shouldn't be there.
It has an old-fashioned key still. No,
Yes.
no
Push start.
push start, no keyless entry exit.
Yeah.
Now these are things again you're getting in cars at 200,000.
Yeah.
Why haven't you got it, Kia? I don't quite understand this. And maybe I'm sounding picky, but so many of the competitors in the segment have got these things.
Yes, but the competitor's equivalent pricing is a lot more expensive.
No, not
Look
all
at the
of
venue. The venue is
yeah, but no,
450.
no, hang on. You can't take that version. It's about 420, the equivalent. Value.
Well.
Okay, so it is more expensive.
420,
Yeah.
429.
You look at the
you're probably
N-Line
right.
one,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
not fair comparison because it's got all the extra body
Correct,
kits and
correct,
blah, blah,
yeah.
blah, blah. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
let's not use that as the comparison.
No, you're right.
But it's a good 20 grand cheaper than the venue, which is supposedly the same.
Same spec.
Yeah, same. You know what I'm saying? So yes, you're right there. But there are so many others that have got. Then, I must be honest, I hadn't picked up on the active cruise control, but why hasn't it got something as basic as blind spot warning?
Blind spot warning is also sort of upper crust these days.
No, come on. If you've got active cruise control, where's your blind spot warning? I've got to be honest. So it's these little things that I was looking for that kind of made me confused by this car. I like it. I really like it. But where these little bits
touches, yeah.
that I would have thought would be there.
Okay.
And That confused me somewhat about the car. Look, I could happily live with this car. Don't take me wrong.
No, agreed.
Yeah.
I like the looks of it, I have to say.
It looks good. Another thing I pointed out.
The wraparound rear tail light.
Yeah, you've got that.
The Kia
You've got
signature
that
almost these
tiny
days.
little window in the C-pillar. But another one I pointed out in my video on the car is you've got the two-tone, you've got the black roof. Where's the panoramic roof? Just, I don't know,
Yeah, but I don't like sunroofs. So
yeah. But now,
for me, ticking the Kia versus ticking one of the other boxes,
I'm going to say to you, the active cruise control, yes, it's good, but then again, I never use it. I know you do. I just don't use it. But now you've got an EX and an EX Plus. There's a 30 grand price difference between the two. The one thing I would want the top one is because it has 6 airbags as opposed to 2. But for everything else, I would probably want to save the 30 grand. Because if I'm not going to get my extras like keyless, like one or two other things I've mentioned,
you still get the performance.
You're getting the exact same performance. Then I'm saying to myself, maybe I would just save the 30 grand.
Yeah.
So it's only actually those airbags that would make me think twice. But look, very simple. It looks good.
Absolutely.
It's a good looker in the segment. It's well put together.
It looks like it's going to last a long time. The interior is a hard wearing.
Yeah, it is.
Well, not hard wearing. That's not the correct way of. It's comfortable. It's really comfortable, but it looks durable.
Yes.
So
I'll go with that.
Yeah.
So it's got all those sort of things. If you're in the market for a crossover SUV and you've got up to 400,000 to spend, you'd be very stupid not to go and drive this one.
7-year warranty.
Yeah.
Same
4-year service plan.
Service plan, blah, 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 all built in.
All there. So you've got it all. To repeat myself, you're in that market, you must go and drive it.
It's a must.
You are doing yourself a disservice if you don't.
Yeah.
Even if there are my couple of little things that just confused me by not being there.
Still a lot of them on the roads.
Well, that says a lot, doesn't it?
A lot of them. I mean,
it says a lot. I'd be very interested to know, look, they only brought the turbo in quite recently. Where they're selling now, because you are starting at $295 for the manual naturally aspirated.
Yes.
To $390 for this one.
Yes.
Where they're selling.
Yeah. Where
because look, in my book, at that end of the market, call it 300 to 400, you're a different category of buyer.
And you must look at Kia's market share. It was 3%, now it's 4%, now it's 5%. It's just continually just grabbing a little bit more, grabbing a little bit more, grabbing a little bit more. It's a great brand. It's one of the.
Go and check it out. That's all I can tell you.
Fabulous.
Do yourself a favor.
Kia, done.
Will and L. Thank you. See you next time.